When you're a teenager looking to make extra cash, the options are usually straightforward. You clean out a neighbor's garage, you do some yard work, or babysit for a few hours. These are the kinds of jobs that feel inherently safe. But for 3 teenagers looking for summer cash, these ordinary gigs rapidly devolved into terrifying traps. They suddenly found themselves standing in unfamiliar locations, staring down undeniable physical threats. In those moments, when every instinct screams that something is horribly wrong, you would expect anyone to drop everything and run. Yet almost universally, people freeze. They hesitate, and they stay. The physical exits in these situations were clear. The real danger keeping these victims in place was their own deeply ingrained social conditioning to be polite. This visualizes normalcy bias. When threat signals spike, our baseline assumption of normalcy smooths those spikes out. To protect us, the brain maps safe explanations onto dangerous events. It refuses to process danger, straining to maintain that flat safety line as threats pile up. Normalcy bias acts as a heavy blindfold. It completely suppresses our innate survival instincts until the physical danger reaches a critical mass that can no longer be ignored. Our first case study drops 2 young women into an abandoned unit in a low-income condo complex. Their task was simply to clear out the trash left behind by the previous tenants, who had moved out in a hurry. Almost immediately, the environment started acting strange. A heavy oven drawer, which the workers had firmly kicked and wedged shut, forcefully pushed itself out onto the kitchen floor. A few minutes later, a light switch flipped on, completely by itself, causing a glass fixture to crash to the ground. Instead of fleeing, the workers rationalized the events. They assumed the drawer had a damaged rail and that the old ceiling wiring had short-circuited. Their brains neatly categorized these terrifying anomalies as simple maintenance issues. The rationalizations finally failed near an open doorway. They heard unmistakable heavy footsteps from the empty concrete basement. Those footsteps broke into a sprint, charging up the stairs directly toward them. They ran for the front door. Environmental anomalies are incredibly easy for the brain to dismiss because inanimate objects lack obvious human malice. It takes a direct, aggressive physical movement to break the illusion. This psychological blindfold becomes much stronger when an authority figure actively manipulates it. Take a 15-year-old girl who accepted a well-paying Craigslist babysitting job at an isolated dead-end house. Inside, she found zero evidence that a 6-year-old child actually lived there. Worse, she found a strange man standing in a pitch-black bedroom. Missing a tooth, he stared out the window with an unnerving smile. Terrified, the teen locked herself in a room and called the woman who hired her. The employer didn't panic. Using a calm, authoritative tone, she claimed she simply forgot to mention her brother lived there, stating he had dementia and was completely harmless. That calm demeanor successfully hacked the teenager's survival instincts. By providing a logical medical excuse, the adult made the teen feel foolish for trusting her gut, keeping her inside the house with a silent, staring stranger. The final stage of this bias traps victims in situations of escalating violence. A teenager working a multi-day yard gig at a rural farmhouse woke up at 3 a.m. to find the elderly homeowner, Elaine, standing over his bed holding a kitchen knife. The physical evidence of a violent struggle was everywhere. The teen found a Dinfeld walker hidden behind boxes, deep scratch marks gouged into the hallway walls, and a large bloodstain smeared right across the pocket of his own backpack. Elaine's husband, Richard, intercepted these discoveries. He aggressively downplayed the knife incident and claimed the blood was from his own minor cut. He leveraged the teenager's reluctance to cause drama or inconvenience the elderly couple. The politeness ended on the final night. Elaine violently attacked her husband downstairs, sending glass shattering to the floor. She then rushed up the stairs, rattling the teenager's doorknob before violently splintering his barricaded bedroom door. He narrowly escaped by jumping out a second-story window into the bushes below. The social pressure to defer to an adult and remain polite literally kept him inside a house with a violent predator. Look closely at the geography of all 3 events. The front door of the condo was wide open. The babysitter held the front door key. The teenager at the farmhouse had clear access to his belongings. The physical exits were never completely blocked. Social conditioning and internal self-doubt formed the true prison holding these victims back. Normalcy bias tricks us into prioritizing our social standing. Human beings will often sit in mortal danger because they fear the social embarrassment of overreacting much more than they fear physical harm. If an environment feels instinctively wrong, flee first and apologize for being dramatic later. The social cost of a misunderstanding is temporary. Ignoring a real red flag is permanent.